All right, welcome to another episode of the CCBA. And right now we're getting ready to do the Pacific West bracket. Getting ready for the big tournament. And let me see. Okay, the Big West bracket. All the games is gonna be in Victoria, British Columbia. And hey man, let's get this thing started. Starting off at the number 4 seed is going to be Lakehead. They come in at 10-7. And their best wins are against Calgary and Thunder Bay. They are cross city rival. And their bad losses is Simon Fraser, Key Reno, and UBC and Alberta. So let's take a look at the roster. All right, so now we got Buchanan here as a point guard, and then we got the one and done Manny. I still can't get that last name down. I'm trying, but I can't. At the shooting guard. Then we got Jimmy Butterfield, Mr. Butterfield, and he's on the hot streak. And then we got Mr. Hornbuckle, who's also on the hot streak. And then we got Wesley Carter Williams, who got a cousin that's already in the and then we got Moses here, and he's on the hot streak. Then we got Carey. Then we got Trayvon. And then we got Grant. And then we got Ray Raw. Man, I'm trying. Then we got Mr. Sneed here. And then we got Castro. And then we got Norman. And then we got the reserves here. We got Lucas, who's a senior. And we got Tiles. They got, as you know, Manny and Butterfield and Wesley Carter, they are prospects. All right, so now we're moving on to the number 3 seed, which is Prince Edwards, or as some people say, Prince Edward Island, or PEI. And they come in at 10-7, and their best wins are against St. Mary's, the defending champions. And then they got Mount Allison, Wilford, and they have win over the Griffins. And their bad losses are St. Francis Xavier and Bishop and Windsor. Not your best resume. And let's see. No, that's not your best resume. And looking at the roster, they got TJ here, the point guard who's on a hot streak. And then you got Brooks, the shooting guard. And then we got Tatum, the power forward. He's on a hot streak. You got Harrison Barnes, small forward. And then you got DeAndre. He's on the hot streak. And then you got Dupree, who's on the hot streak, little point guard here. And then we got Quinn Cook. We got Matthew McKinley, Davon Elliott, Josh Jackson. And then we got Harkless. Then we got James here. And then we got Fry. And then we got Troy Graham. On the reserve list. So that's the Panthers. And now sitting at number 2, we have the York Lions, who come in the tournament with 11-6. They got their best wins against Lakehead, Humber, Keanu, Thunder Bay, and Saskatchewan. Bad losses come at South Alberta Institute Tech. Woo. SAIT. And then you got VIU, and then you got UBC. Wow. And now we're gonna take a look at the roster for the York Lions. You got Reginald here, Jacobs, point guard, and then you got Courtney Lee, the shooting guard, but he is on the cold streak. Then you got Archibald here, small forward. And then you got Franklin D. Brickowski, the power forward, and he's on a hot streak. Then you got Jared Jacobs, Reginald's brother, who's on a hot streak, and not quite sure if he's going to enter the draft like his brother. They working it out. Then you got Kirk here, you got Leslie here, then you got Eli, and then you got Monty, then you got Ray, Kennedy, Peterson, and then you got Andrews, and then we got Greg Gary in the reserve position. And there you go. Those are the Lions. Without further ado, the number one seed in the Pacific West bracket goes to Montreal. Wow, I don't even think they made the tournament last year. I don't think 3 of these teams didn't make the tournament last year. Anyway, you got 12-5, Montreal, number one seed, and their best wins are against Wilford, Laval, St. Mary, the Griffins, Prince Edwards, and Mount Allison. We're really not that strong of a resume, to be honest, but their bad losses come against Windsor, Bishop, and St. Francis Xavier. And looking at their roster, we have Lucas, point guard Lucas, who's on a hot streak. You got Creek. You got Porter. And we got Gregory, who's on a hot streak. And you got Dwayne, who's also on a hot streak. Bess. And we got Monty. You got Tyrone. You got Gary. We got Slaughter, Carroll, Grant, Edwards, and Rick, who's on the reserve. So that's it. That's the Pacific West. Looking at it, I think Montreal shouldn't have any trouble, but hey, don't sleep on Lakehead at that number 4 seed. And I think York got a strong chance of making it. So that's the way it looked like to me. We'll see. When we get down to it, we'll see. But until then, you have a good one. Thanks for watching, and you have a good one.